Assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum. Get my stand. Okay. I'm just getting my stand for my phone. Aye. Okay, so just moving for the coffee shop. And now we're in the room. Sorry about this, I was supposed to do the live on YouTube, but YouTube decided to not allow me to do so, telling me that I haven't got enough, what's the word, permission, I don't know. Yeah, basically, my eligibility isn't there. I'm not eligible. Your YouTube channel does not meet our updated eligibility requirements for mobile live streaming. But I can still stream via webcam broadcasting software, which I haven't got a webcam. I've only got my phone and my iPad. So that is unfortunate. But nonetheless, we can still do what we need to do here. This is my live question and answers for today. I try to make a video every day on my YouTube channel. And today I had a video I was going to release, but I thought, you know what? I haven't really answered many questions about things for a while, so I'll do it here. So let's get started. Any questions? Let's have a look. Anyone put any questions? Just add it in the question section. I think that's what it is. There are no questions as of yet. Please don't write it on the screen. Type it in the question section there. Oh wait, by the way, questions in regards to Bitcoin. That's basically what we're here. I'm here. This is Crypto Hash Review, and we do questions regarding Bitcoin. So, anyone have a question on Bitcoin, how it works, how it functions, what's going on? Okay. I'll do my best to help you gain your financial sovereignty. Okay, first question. There is... Oh, it's been taken back. Okay. Come on, guys, don't be shy. Anyone have a question? I'll give you a question. Or I guess if anyone wants to ask a question on the live, come on the live, ask a question. Please do so. Here we are. Is there a beginner's book to understand crypto starting from zero? That's the question. Okay. So if someone wanted to read a book about Bitcoin from ground zero, there are quite a few books you can read. No doubt the basic one and the most simple one and the most commonly accepted one is the Bitcoin Standard. Do I have a copy? I'll show you this one here. Where is it? Do I have a copy here? I don't think I do. Books. Yeah, here it is. So, right here, if you can see this, right here, it's called the Bitcoin Standard. That's the one book to do. Then there is another one, which is kind of more for beginners. It's called Mastering Bitcoin by Andreas Antonopoulos. There is this book, I haven't read this one yet. Why Bitcoin, I don't know. There is Mastering Etherium, but that's something completely different. So that's it really. The Bitcoin Standard is the go-to, the first book one should read. Kind of covers a lot of what you might need to know about Bitcoin. Okay. Next question was, how do you convince people that Bitcoin isn't affecting environment as the media shows? I think the first question would be, how would Bitcoin be affecting the environment? Now, there's been many extreme examples given. They say, oh, Bitcoin is boiling the ocean and that kind of stuff. And ironically, some of these things were actually said about the plane, about the internet itself. Lots of things in the past that I knew. They had these hyperbolic statements like that. Well, Bitcoin's going to do this and going to do that and destroy the world and blah, blah, whatever it is, maybe. I remember in Saudi, there was at one point Twitter was like one evil, and then it was Facebook was some evil thing, and then eventually just allowed it. Don't forget, let's not forget that internet itself was banned, the TV itself was banned, radio itself was banned. When King Faisal became the leader of Saudi Arabia, one of the two things he got criticized heavily for at the time was that he wanted to have a Saudi Arabian national television. He got massively criticized for that one. And secondly, he wanted to make girls attend school. There was a massive backlash. This was back in the 70s. So there's always going to be people who reject and oppose. But the question is not that whether they reject or not. The question is, are their objections valid? So the argument is that because you have to mine Bitcoin, it requires work. People don't understand why you need to work. And this part here, everyone, please pay attention. Everyone, please pay attention. This is if you don't get this part, you don't get Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a digital system. It's information. Think of it like what's in your head, knowledge. There's no real thing you can grab to stop things from happening that you don't want to happen. If that's loosely said. Now, what Bitcoin does is that it ties this information into the real, meaning that because you have to do physical work in the real world to achieve this digital number in the Bitcoin blockchain, therefore you've actually made a link and a tie between the two. Now, if we removed the mining from Bitcoin, then essentially there's no real reason why you can't make infinite Bitcoins. Listen carefully. If you don't have proof of work, if you don't have some kind of physical activity in the real world, then there's no reason why you can't have infinite amount of Bitcoin. It doesn't cost you anything to make more Bitcoin. It's because it costs time and effort and money to make Bitcoin is what ties in the two things together and makes Bitcoin real. So all those people who say, oh, Bitcoin is nothing, it's not tangible. They haven't understood that Bitcoin is very tangible because it requires real work to come into existence. And also everyone says, oh, we want to remove and delete and stop the waste of electricity. Number one, I haven't understood what the whole system. It's not a waste of electricity. It's converting that work into a monetary value. So as for whether you would convince them, I would suggest don't waste your time. Anyone who genuinely believes that Bitcoin is destroying the environment, let them first target the biggest destroyers of the environment, being the burning of fossil fuels, cars, the banking system. You know, 1/10. I think it's 1/10. No, not 1/10. Sorry. 1/10 of a percent, as in 0.1% of all the electricity burnt to sustain the banking system, Bitcoin burns. So Bitcoin is a fraction of what the banking system burns. So if we want to help the environment, then remove the banking system. Okay. So the next question is, Ustad, can you briefly explain what Bitcoin is? I can understand how it works slightly. I will try and focus on that word you mentioned it briefly. Bitcoin is a digital manifestation of real life work that has value, that is used to transfer value from one place to another across borders in a manner that prevents from manipulating and preventing you from your transaction. So in a nutshell, it's money on the internet backed by energy. But if you want more details, please refer to my YouTube channel. I have plenty of videos on that. What's your mid to long-term price target for Bitcoin? Not financial advice. just your opinion. My opinion is not to focus on the price, brother. My opinion is to learn why you need Bitcoin in your life beyond the price. And I say this as my genuine advice. Whether you take it or you believe in it or you understand it, just take my advice. Right now, Bitcoin's going through a bull run. The price is going up. And before the price gets to some kind of equilibrium where it doesn't go up anymore, for at least the next 4 years, everyone is distracted by the price increase. And people jump on board to get more fiat. They want to get more pounds or more dollars. And it is a distraction from the bigger picture behind Bitcoin. Bitcoin gives you freedom to own and possess your wealth and to take it outside of the interest riba system called the banks. That's what you need to focus on and things like that. Talk about the price, brother. Salam alaikum Ustad. Apologies, I missed the beginning, but how has the recent price drop affected your strategy with Bitcoin? None whatsoever. Nothing's changed. There was a time when I first got into Bitcoin when price drops like this, 30% drop, 20% drop, used to really scare me. Sometimes, I think initially it kind of scared me, oh, it's going to go down. Then I realized, wait, it's not going down. It's just dropped and now it's back up again. And what ended up happening is that most people, they sell. Let's say they sell here, think it's going to go down, and then Bitcoin just goes up. And then end up buying back in higher. So they end up paying more for the same thing they had a minute ago. So when they previously had one Bitcoin for like £10, now they're buying that one Bitcoin for £20. And why did they do that? Because they panicked, they sold when it dropped. And then they ended up buying back in again when it went back up. So when you go through enough of that, you realize, oh, this is nonsense. Stop selling. Why would you sell? That's the first thing. Secondly, in markets, if you sell at a massive drop, that's the worst time to sell. What you do is if you really want to sell, you sell on the bounce. So things don't just go down and stay down unless it's actually literally just dead. Normally it drops and bounces back up before dropping further. That's how things go like this. So if it's dropped drastically, wait for the bounce. That's regards to normal coins and all markets. That's how it works. And then after a while of learning that Bitcoin's not going anywhere, there's no need to sell. I think what I tried to do then was try to buy back in lower. That was the next deception that Shaitan gave. If you sell here and it keeps on going down, you could buy back in lower and get more Bitcoin. Don't short Bitcoin. Don't. You end up paying a premium for your Bitcoin. Just chill, bro. And I don't treat Bitcoin as an investment. I treat Bitcoin as money. None of you guys sell your pounds for dollars every time the pound drops compared to the dollar. None of you. Not a single one of you does that. So that's how I behave with Bitcoin. I don't do anything. If I could buy more, if I had fiat, I would buy more, but I didn't. So it hasn't affected anything. If anything, I would have bought more if I had any spare cash, but I didn't, unfortunately. That's it. No more questions? Come on, man. I've got like 50 more minutes. Anyone more questions? Anyone else? Come on, guys. Any more questions? Ask in the question section. Okay. Next one. Will BTC be still of use when whatever reason the internet crashes completely? Cyber Polygon 2021. If the internet crashes completely across the globe, so the thing is, what people don't realize is that they think that Bitcoin is the only digital currency that exists, not realizing that the pounds and dollars you have in your hands are also digital currencies. So even if you think you have thousands of pounds in your bank account that's safe and sound, if the internet does actually crash, that money is also gone. There's no way you're going to access to it. ATMs work on the internet. Online payments work on the internet, obviously online. Your debit cards, we got the shopping center, they work on the internet. Everything. The only money you would have would be the money in your underneath your mattress. I'm sure many of you guys don't have much cash in your wallet. So before one wonders what happens to Bitcoin if the internet crashes, ask yourself what happens to everything if the internet crashes. Next question. What do you think about, think of Bitcoin's Bitcoin's lack of utility problem? Yeah, so that's a problem with those who say that. That's not a problem for Bitcoin. Meaning, those who say Bitcoin has no utility hasn't actually realized what the utility of Bitcoin is. There's plenty of utility for Bitcoin. And whoever says there is no utility, then that's it. That's like saying, oh, iPads are useless. You don't need the iPad. You can use a desktop or an iPhone. iPads are useless. Yeah, whatever. You think that. Next one. Is staking crypto halal because you're getting interest? Staking is a massive topic, and there are so many different forms and ways in which you can stake. Some staking is halal because you're taking part in a business transaction whereby you share profits in a transaction of currency conversion. Some staking is haram because you use your staked funds as liquidity for lending, so you get interest. Some staking is halal because all they want you to do is hold your bags and not sell your bags, and they reward you with money put aside. There's a lot of things that you can say about staking. It really depends on what staking you are referring to. And someone's asked the same question again. Is staking halal? Some are, some aren't. But if you ask me about Bitcoin, there are no ways in which you can stake Bitcoin that is halal. Unless you're staking it on Thorchain via a liquidity pool, maybe, but I haven't checked that out yet. Next question. Is it only Bitcoin that's okay, or can we do it with other digital currencies? Now, Bitcoin is unique in that how it came about, how it currently is, and where it's currently going is almost, if not totally unrepeatable, as you can't do it again. There's no way to get a currency to be and act like Bitcoin. No, people probably think, how is that possible? Because Bitcoin is just code. I can run the same kind of code. Why can't my code be? Why can't I just do the same thing Bitcoin does? What they haven't realized is that Bitcoin is more than code. Bitcoin actually is a network of people, an ideology, and a community. That's what they don't understand. There are millions of people who ideologically love and invest in Bitcoin because they believe in a future where currency is not owned or controlled by anybody. There is no single point of failure. A currency that is fully for the people and for everybody. No other coin can claim to do so. Every coin we know has a founder that pretty much has a lion's share of the coins, has a lion's share of the influence over the direction of that coin, and essentially owns that coin. Whether it be Cardano or Etherium or Litecoin with Charlie Lee, whatever the case may be, they all at some level have a single point of failure, a person who is in control of the network. Maybe not in control where they can just tell the network to do something, but enough control whereby it hangs on their existence. Whereas Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto did the best thing that he could have done for the network: disappear. And if he was to ever surface again, he should be killed. No, I'm joking. Now, as in the fact that he disappeared is the best thing that could happen to Bitcoin, because it now truly makes it a network, a currency for everyone. And the support that Bitcoin has got over the years, the way that Bitcoin has been attacked over and over and over again and has survived, and the liquidity of that Bitcoin, you can't replicate that. And this is another thing that people don't understand about Bitcoin, is they think that Bitcoin is just code. It's not just code. Bitcoin is a network of people, an ideology, and that you can't get again. It's very difficult to get that again. So, and one last thing as well, for a new currency to get to where Bitcoin is now is almost impossible, because Bitcoin, when it was very young, no one cared about it. So no one really attacked it. Now people do care about currencies and would wish to attack it. It's now gone past that level. All other coins that would probably possibly come about, they can be attacked, and it can't ever reach the level of immutability or security that it becomes impossible now to attack. So Bitcoin's already passed that threshold of no return. So it's really difficult to get that again, if not impossible. We've got six more minutes before Madrasa ends, and then I'll call it end. What's your opinion on XRP? XRP is like any other coin. It's nothing special, and you shouldn't waste your time with it. Would you advise us to avoid KYC platforms to own Bitcoin in order to evade the government? I don't advise it. I mean, there is the reason why you would do that, as well as privacy issues. So if you acquired your Bitcoin privately, then that means no one knows how much Bitcoin you have. So therefore, your risk of being hacked or your risk of being attacked or targeted is reduced. And that target doesn't have to be the government. It could be anyone. Whereas if you have, for example, as those of you may know that Ledger, which is a hardware wallet company, their website got hacked, and all those who purchased a Ledger from them, all their address was made public to the internet. So that means everyone on the internet knows who purchased and has Bitcoin, or at least had Bitcoin at some point in time, is now available on the internet. That's a point of failure. And this is the reason why you don't want to expose yourself to the public in that manner. It's not just to do with the government, it's to do with anyone really. So non-KYC Bitcoin is always better, but there's always a premium for that as well. What about ETH and ADA? What about them? If you're asking if they're halal, they are. If you're asking if you should invest in them, I don't know, learn about them and find a good reason. How much knowledge do we need to get into Bitcoin? What you would find is that the more you learn about Bitcoin, the more you realize there's so much more to learn. I've made over 100 videos on my YouTube channel, and I haven't even exhausted all the things that can be said about Bitcoin. I haven't even scratched the surface, to be honest. And every time I release a new video, I think to myself, wow, there's so much more still to say. I keep getting messages, bro, when are you going to talk about Ethereum? When are you going to talk about ADA? And I did have intention to talk about other currencies, but there's just so much more to say about Bitcoin. So much more to say. So, just start in it. Is it the end of the bull run? We'll see in it. In your old videos, you mentioned that aspects of crypto.com is not permissible. Can you please clarify, as I know many Muslim brothers on this exchange? No, crypto.com is basically a card company that allows you to spend your Bitcoin using their card. From what I understand, a lot of their products will require you to stake tokens, and that staking is used in interest-bearing loans. So from that aspect, it's basically like a bank, and that's why I've warned against it. Now, if you used it just to spend your Bitcoin, then it's fine, but just don't stake anything. Do you personally use KYC or non-KYC? Why do you ask me that, man? Why ask anyone about what they particularly have? That is rule 101. Don't ask anyone about their Bitcoin, just like you don't ask anyone about their bank balance. Are you Satoshi Nakamoto? We are all Satoshi Nakamoto. Do you know any famous coins that we should avoid as Muslims? I was about to say avoid all and stick to Bitcoin, but that's a bit unfair. If you think it's a scam, most likely it is. What's your thoughts on Ethereum? I have yet to see something that Ethereum can do that we need cryptocurrency to do it. And that can't be done on Bitcoin. There's a lot to be said about Ethereum. good and bad. But it depends on what you're asking, really. What my thoughts on it? If I think Ethereum's price will go up, yeah, of course it would. In this bull run, of course it would. Everything's going to go up in this bull run. So I don't know what you mean, but what I mean about Ethereum, what I think about Ethereum. Has BTC got better utility than XRP? Of course. Is Ethereum halal? Yes. Next one. Any way to see your average or gain loss when dollar cost averaging on Swissborg or Binance? Yeah, on Swissborg, if you tap the top, wait, it should be on the left. I don't know what it's called, but there should be like a donut sign. If you tap on it, it will give you your profits, your realized profits, your unrealized profits, your total, and your fees you spent, and some other metrics if you want on Swissborg. So yeah, but I think it only applies if you leave your token on the platform. If you bought Bitcoin and then you withdrew onto your wallet, then effectively they don't track that. And that's it. Half past, done. Jazakallah khair for your time, and we have to go now. Well, actually, the kid's not out, that's it. So I'll do one or two more questions actually. It says here, any coin in the future could be better than Bitcoin, possible. If you heard me what I said earlier on, I mentioned that what makes Bitcoin great is something which is almost impossible to replicate and repeat. Any other coin that comes next will be trying to emulate what Bitcoin did, but can't. So if you know what makes Bitcoin great, you'd understand why that's almost impossible. Now, can we have a different currency in the future? Of course we can. Currency is just technology. Bitcoin is just the latest technology. Maybe in 100, 200, 1,000 years, it'll be something greater than Bitcoin. Of course, that's if we become a multi-planetary species, which I hope so, then we would need to have something, because Bitcoin only really works on planet Earth. Because if you're mining Bitcoin on Mars and you're mining Bitcoin on Earth, somehow you need to synchronize the two separate chains. And the way which two separate chains will be synchronized in the Bitcoin network is the longest chain takes precedence. That wouldn't work on Mars. And every new block is 10 minutes, and Mars takes 8 minutes to have, is it 8 minutes? Yeah, 8 minutes to have information transmit between Earth and Mars at some points, and sometimes even longer or less, depending on where Mars is. Sometimes Mars could be next to Earth, and sometimes Earth could be the opposite side of the solar system. So that time delay causes problems. Now, if we are able to have faster than light communication, then that would solve that problem. Then you can mine Bitcoin anywhere in the galaxy, because you can still communicate. But at the moment, we don't have faster than light communication. So yeah, I would suspect that in the future we'd have to have something other than Bitcoin in the future. I just speculate. What you probably could have is that Bitcoin will be on planet Earth, and then on Mars, for example, on Venus, or on the Moon, you could use the Lightning Network. Because Lightning Network, as long as all you need is to open channels and close channels. You don't need to send transactions like that. Actually, to tell a lie, you can actually still use Bitcoin on Mars. It just means that it will take longer to get confirmation. So what we'd have to do, we have to broadcast a transaction from Mars. That would take 8 minutes to get to Earth, for it to get to the mempool, and then the miners will pick up that transaction, add it to the blockchain, and have another 10 minutes. So that will technically add more time to your transaction. Probably just take about 10 minutes for your transaction to get to the Bitcoin network. But you couldn't mine on Mars. So you could use Bitcoin on Mars, you can use Bitcoin on the Moon, you can use Bitcoin on Venus, but you couldn't mine because you would always be behind. The latest block would always be 10 minutes away, so you'd never be able to keep up. But you could still use it. But once you leave the solar system, then it becomes even more ridiculously difficult. And the kids are now coming out. So I think I'll call it quits there. Hey, Jazakallah khair for your time and for your questions. You had lots of good questions there. And I will hopefully make this live stream available on YouTube as well. Assalamu alaikum.